Perhaps this would be a time to take a break, Louis.
Armand didn't want me to do the interview, Daniel.
Still don't.
Can I see the pages we removed of Claudia's diaries?
We made an agreement.
I don't know what else is blurred or misremembered.
My name is in some of those pages.
I sit across from him and reckon with the knowledge I don't know what other misrememberings made in him. I won't share them with him, but I need to read them again.
May I make an observation?
Lost control of the interview.
Yes.
He's skilled.
He wants you in pieces for the privilege of putting them back together as he sees fit.
It's his job.
It's his drug. He's reveling in it. You should end it.
No.
Put him back on a plane is what I mean.
No.
I'll have Rashid assemble the pages removed.
What's the observation?
The boy we met in San Francisco. The one who fumbled over his tape recording device, who barely understood the meaning of the story he was being told. He's still in there somewhere. We can find him. We can have him saying what happened next in no time.
How?
We do it together. Like everything we've done for the past 70 years.
Good morning. Uh-huh.
You have our attention.
Yeah.
Session 10, the vampire Louis and the vampire Armand.
To the mother of New Orleans.
Members of my coven had sensed It's custom and practice for traveling vampires to make themselves known to a local coven.
Gosh.
We didn't get that memo. De Gaulle's Paris had me etherized.
The whitest of lies, turning 77 this year. Do not leave Dubai until you've made him retract it.
Uh-huh. Right, because there wasn't any racism in mid-20th century France.
Oh, I
He
didn't
didn't say that.
I think you're Algerian.
I was just grateful knowing no one wanted to lynch me or direct me to the far end of the cafe counter.
That's all he was saying, Mr. Malloy.
Are you two going to finish each other's sentences for the whole session?
We've been together 77 years, Daniel.
47 more than he did with Lestat.
Should we let the math of that settle before continuing?
Keep selling it. And yet you never made contact with him.
Thank you. 5 months of anxiety-producing choices and not one bonjour or prépare-toi à mourir.
Custom and practice.
The Parisian vampire is a prideful monster.
They lived 2 kilometers from our theater in Pigalle.
I had endured hundreds of nights in the theater with Lestat. I was not seeking more.
A theater called Théâtre des Vampires, a company that had been in existence for 150 years. 77 years, and it still feels like a slight. You could tell from his walk he was an American.
I'm an American. What exactly is an American walk?
2 wars had made a certain impression on the men of France. There was no way to describe it other than optimistic.
There was a park I had heard about I would go to this park often. I was an armored thing that spring. Someone steady on his feet, but
With a history of chasing the wrong kind of love.
I'll describe it myself, thank you.
Yes.
But with a history of chasing the wrong kind of love.
Well,
I had lost patience. I was convinced we were being toyed with and I could hold back the coven only so long. I knew the park well myself, knew what went on in the rambles there, and so I was not surprised to find him without the girl. I would confront the elder and make him aware of the ways rogue vampires were dealt with in Paris.
He looked like a boy masquerading as a gentleman, but I sensed his ancient power right away.
He was awkward. His attempt to blend in as some layman, thinking he could fade into the landscape, it was absurd. I mean, he was alarmingly handsome in the muted lamplight.
I thought he was going to kill me.
Battle for our nightly Sabbath.
But we were there for vampires, and we felt their numbers in the charged air.
These people are vampires!
should have seen that coming. Did not see that one coming. Big red flag, huh?
The biggest.
You must understand.
I understand.
In a community as small as ours, such crossings of immortal paths is expected, perhaps more common than you would think.
And one looked up at the painting and saw that Teresa's dead husband was Roberto. Oh, and that means you knew Lestat before he did.
Yes, Armand knew Lestat.
Wait a minute.
And yes, he was briefly with Lestat.
You both fucked Lestat.
100+ years apart.
They were not compatible.
He tasted like vermouth and annihilation.
You shared a boyfriend. This is great.
I fucked Santiago too, and Celeste and Estelle. Even had an aerobic evening with Tuan and Quang Pham in the back row of a cinema watching Now Voyager.
Did you?
14 hapless vampires being led by a vampire with skin darker than yours. What else is there to be scared of? Other than your own lust?
Oh, you felt my lust?
Armand? Oh, yeah. Felt his too. Now I know what two blood-fat cocks slapping hands feel like, so thank you for that.
Love of my life, or is it more rebound of my life with you two?
It's a haunting memory Louis just shared with you. What a comfort, your ability to continue pulling humor from his pain, cathartic.
It's a joke.
And then he arrived and shattered that lock. This is what frightened me most about you.
Armand.
The door was ajar.
If you open up the windows and the doors, you get a little breeze.
Cavalier. But I'm sure you're being careful.
How's she doing?
She's taking the abuse in stride.
I've never seen her happier.
The Coven has grand designs for her. You're drawn to portraiture.
Hides the cracks in the walls.
Show me where you go at night. 3 studies for figures at the base of a crucifixion, witnesses to Christ's agony. Mr. Bacon also referred to these as the 3 Furies. The ceremony is for members only. Shall we have a walk?
You walked me home.
Did I?
That's my building over there.
Did he break you, Louis? Are you broken?
No. But I carry him. I don't know if I can. The paint,
You will. I did.
You and him?
A century or so ago. Yesterday. What is time to a vampire?
You want to come upstairs?
Are you inviting me in?
Depends. Are you gonna kill me?
Parisians who'd long disdained us started drifting back in again. We even added back a Wednesday French performance.
Take it.
Mostly with good
They were
grace.
bitter.
What? Is it thirst? Is it love? What is it exactly? Are you companions?
Yes.
No.
Do you notice how hot the room gets when you two talk about the secret?
Progress.
Only seems to work when I think of shit that pisses me off.
I try and find the vulnerability within the object.
So you want me to come around more?
Yes, that would help.
Okay then, I'll come around more.
I have to get back. Curfew.
I love you.
I love you.
So,
Okay, I showed a little work. Got some love back.
I don't know what he sees in it.
What is this?
Dear, this is a Stein.
I know. Why is it in there? Why are all these in there?
Don't ask me. We've been staring at
I
this.
didn't put these here.
What light through yonder window breaks? It is the north, northwest, and Louis is
Romeo!
the sun.
It's barely Balthazar.
I was wondering if you wanted to take one of our walks.
Not the art, the apology. Flex your power one night and follow it with grand groveling the next. Vintage Leoncourt. I handle folks like Santiago both my lives. I don't need you flying in like vampire papa.
I did it poorly, but I did it for our protection.
I didn't like seeing Claudia made a
I
puppet.
treated her as a member of my coven.
I don't like you parading her around in that baby doll dress either. If I may say, it all makes you look weak.
I am not Lestat, Louis.
Okay.
Who are you?
You summoned me.
I felt your panic.
The center isn't holding. Mutiny brewing. Everyone doing what they want when they want.
Everyone but you.
I'm not sure I can keep obedience any longer. Santiago wants
your job?
Others will follow him. You should think to leave.
No. I'm staying in Paris with you, and everyone's gonna be happy.
Louis.
I'm not an artist. I don't know too much about the theater, but I used to be real good at running things. I'm a little wet. Santiago wants to be Coven leader. And that's when you can decide if you want it back or you want something else.
I want you. I want you more than anything in the world.
You sure about that, Armand?
Yes, maître.
Ford, you made me look foolish.
You just assume it was me.
Well, it wasn't me.
You sure about that?
Excuse me?
I take it back.
Take it way fucking back.
It was probably an honest mistake from the start.
You think I need to be coddled? Hyped up, lied to? We had it figured out, didn't we? What we needed from the other, our proper roles, a less dictatorial approach to the Coven is embraced by my love. A dreamy kind of balance.
July 1949, the reading room.
We broke into the same library every night that month. Hypnotized security, as one does. Flipped the lights, laid our backs on long tables, and stared up at the ceiling.
Hot.
Iron pillars holding up terracotta domes. A light trick that made the ceiling appear higher than it was.
And why not pass a month that way? An effortless, eternal life ahead of us. Funny thing, trying to remember what occupied one's time when one was ignorant of the plotting around him. How was your lunch?
Entertaining. He made it all the way to Burj Khalifa. How's Paris?
Oh, we paused Paris. Reminisced about San Francisco.
And?
It started with Daniel. He asked why you saved him in 1973.
I could see you were partial to him. I preserve your happiness even when you don't or can't. I had a hunch Daniel might prove fruitful in later times. How about the Ai Weiwei wallpaper with the Hockney lemons?
Like we're a Ferndale hotel lobby?
Okay.
What about a selection of Fred Stein's? Tastefully framed. They've been sitting in my albums all this time, seems a waste. Or better not to have so tangible a reminder of Paris up on our walls.
An interview about Paris is a more tangible reminder of Paris than a few photographs.
Leave it bare then. Wait for revelation to enter the room.
We can help you find a publisher.
I have a publisher.
Your publisher will get...
Strange. I remember you racing back from rehearsals to tell me how ambitious the conceit was.
Well, I was following your advice, wasn't I? I didn't want to bring the work's anxieties into our home.
Or you're recalling the events with bias because of the machinations surrounding it.
Lead with a velvet glove instead of an iron gauntlet was the advice.
Indulge the buffoon, were my words. Feed Santiago his own ego back to him.
I was in love.
You buy that?
I buy that he'd been in power a long time. You can get lazy.
It was love.
Okay. And love. He was loving in those days, sure. Love. I got that vault. Different brushes, Hands, stains, rubbing, scratching, gestures of anxiety, but then the blues. Like little cigar ends, like portals to the sky beyond.
Like he got sick on the canvas?
Watch. I'll sell it for 5 times the price in a year. 30 times if he keeps drinking and dies.
And what then?
Reinvest.
More vols?
More Vols. More Mathieu, Solage, real estate, dividend stocks with compound interest. Maybe a plane.
And who is going to fly your plane?
I'll fly it.
The first vampire capitalist, the first vampire pilot.
Why not? Take off your clothes.
I am going through Sam's new pages.
Clothes off, face down in the coffin. Can read them to me while I fuck you.
Trampled on the laws and I am to reward her for it? To every vampire a dressmaker?
They'll bitch at the moon, mark you in their coffins, but she never fit in. They won't miss her. You think you're happy with me now? Can you imagine me without the burden of her?
I said I would not do it.
Maître in the bedroom, maître only when it's hot or convenient.
That's how I took it.
I had reasoning.
What was it?
He had never made one, and he hadn't told me.
I did once. He didn't hear it.
He didn't, no.
The idea repulsed me, repulses me.
Well, at least we can agree it was a disingenuous act.
I went in there
You
open-minded.
walked into
It was an
Madeline's
outrageous
atelier with your mind made up. I am.
You've no right to be. You asked me to do it.
What?
He's full of shit.
I failed Louis once in my life. It wasn't in San
I
Francisco.
would never ask you to do
The
that.
pages I tore out of Claudia's diaries, we did most of those together.
Not all of
And
them.
the ones I did on my own were to protect me from you, Mr. Malloy.
I asked you to erase it?
Yes. After you came out of a shower in our home in Sausalito. 3 days after we abandoned him.
I can feel you too. Through him. Yes, he loves you.
Okay. Okay, well, let's get the hell out of my soul. He gets enough affection. I don't need his head getting too big to get out the door.
Order me another. Love.
There he goes. Mm-hmm. There he goes. Will he get through the door with that big head? They gave him a choice. He chose.
Your new boyfriend sold you out to your old boyfriend.
Okay, all right. I sold him out.
And then he put you on a show trial
Yes.
in front of a live human audience.
That's right.
You screwing them over.
He had a lot to account for, but he spent the whole performance calculating a way to save me.
He saved you.
It took all my strength.
You saved Louis,
Yes.
but not her.
I could not prevent it. I could not prevent it. If I could explain to you the events, I think you would understand why it was I acted as I did. I know you will never forgive me. I am not seeking forgiveness. Louis, is that you?
Did you save me at the trial?
Yes.
You pulled me out the wall?
Yes. I could not save her. If I thought there was a way, I would have.
Shut up. Shut up. However you manage, do not find yourself at the theater tomorrow night at curfew. When did you start lying to me? Here's your death. Let's start. He and I are gonna spend the rest of our lives together. Wherever your miserable life takes you, whoever you find to endure time with, whatever pale proxy of me, I'll be with him. Just wanted you to know that.
Let's see how long it holds.
It's fairly obvious. He didn't think we would make it. 77 years.
Almost to the day.
We left him there. Walked Paris one last time, completely silent.
Stopped for a moment at the Place de la Concorde, the Luxor obelisk.
I stood staring up at it as cars and carriages circled us. I said telepathically, was it telepathically?
I don't remember.
I said, let's go see Egypt.
Then sailed port to port.
Settled in New York a good while. San Francisco.
And we did. Here, there, everywhere, and Dubai.
And that's the end of it. There's nothing else.
He loved you. I can say that now. He loved you a great deal. It must have been terrible for him to see us off that night.
Differently. 77 years based on a seismic lie.
It's a forgery, Louis.
It's from the Talamasca.
Louis. Louis.
You're not to touch him. Do you understand? You harm him in any way, I will kill you. Do you understand? I'm leaving now. When I return, you need to be gone. You should gather your